Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing well today. Before I get started with this video, I just want to make sure that you are taking care of yourselves mentally and emotionally, and of course physically. The last few weeks have been traumatic and triggering for many of us, and you may not think that seeing the constant barrage of these images and these Karens out here doing the most and the protest and everything that's happening, you may not even think that it weighs on you or that it affects you. But being constantly inundated with those kind of images can actually have, a negative effect on you mentally. It can weigh on you. It can do a lot to you. It can damage you. So just make sure that you guys are taking some time away from media, just all of it. Which is why sometimes I disappear and I literally will not get on social media. And sometimes I feel like I have an addiction to it, but I'll just step away and just go watch, Netflix or something like that. And just stay away from news in general, right? Because that shit gonna be there tomorrow and the world is still messed up, right? So just make sure that you guys are taking care of yourselves mentally and emotionally, because there's so much going on, not just the last 3 weeks, but just overall with us being in the house for the last couple of months. It's a lot. So make sure you're taking care of yourselves and please, by all means, if you need to do a mental check-in, I'm here. My email, it's what's tsis98@gmail.com. Feel free to email me. We can chat. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. It's whatever, y'all. Okay. Now let's talk about Gianna Floyd. Because I have seen a couple of things that have me questioning what's going on here. Now, Gianna has become the face of what's been happening over the last few weeks, after the murder of her father, George Floyd. And it's not something that I'm sure this kid wanted. She's 6 years old, right? She's become the face just like her father has become that, that picture, that iconic picture that we see of her father. She has become the face of what's left, right? The what he left behind. And it raises a few questions. So yesterday I was on Instagram and I noticed that Gianna now has an Instagram page and she already has 66,000 followers. And I cannot imagine that a 6-year-old put an Instagram together, so it had to be one of the adults around her. And I have two people that I'm kind of looking at right now, which is her mother and Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson was a good friend of her father's. He was a former NBA player. And he is the one that, if you guys don't know who he is, he's the one that she's hoisted upon his shoulders. This picture right here, where she said, "Daddy changed the world," right? And him and George Floyd, they really, when he said that he called them twin, they really do look alike. It's just so uncanny that they were not related. But anyway, Steven Jackson has apparently stepped up and vowed to step in and take care of Gianna, just kind of be that father figure for her. Gianna was also at his funeral. Here's Steven Jackson and Gianna. Now, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I have to be honest with you. When I see pictures of young ladies, young children, even boys, on the lap of an adult male, it kind of skeezes me out. I don't care for that. I don't. But anyway, so this is what's been happening, right? Gianna has been on a press tour. They've had her in front of cameras, interviewing her. This girl has just lost her father. He is never coming back. And they have this little girl in front of cameras asking her questions. She's kind of being paraded around and she's doing these. She is literally just kind of moving about, right? In these different spaces. And there was a part of me that said, okay, keep her busy. This is a good thing. Keep her busy, because if you keep her busy, maybe she doesn't have a lot of time to process what's been happening around her and the fact that her father is gone. You know, if you keep a kid busy and distracted, they don't have to, you know, sit there in sadness. So a part of me was like, okay, I get it. I get what they're doing. I think I get what they're doing. But then, you know, I see her, this baby girl, and she is being, you know, paraded around Joe Biden, Mr. Shoulders. You know, he liked to squeeze people's shoulders and shit like that. I guess hopefully he can stop that mess. But, you know, she's being paraded around former Vice President Joe Biden and in front of cameras. And it's just weird to me. It's just a little weird to me. Now, she is the face, right? Just like Dave Chappelle said in his 846 comedy special, we didn't choose George Floyd. The world did. Y'all chose him. And so she technically has been chosen. She is the face of what's happening right now. Again, none of this is of her own doing. She's 6 years old. She can't control any of this. This is the adults. These are what the adults are doing. So when I see people in the comments and they're saying little things, I'm like, well, y'all do know she's 6 years old. She can't control none of that shit. She can control any of that. So TSU, Texas Southern, has offered this beautiful young girl a full ride scholarship, and which I think is great, right? And I also saw that Barbara Streisand gave her, made her a shareholder, and she bought her some Disney stock. And now she's a shareholder, right? And I've also seen I guess there's something called the Gianna Floyd Fund, where people are donating money to this young lady. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot, and it certainly raised a lot of questions about what's happening and why is she being spotlighted and not the other children. So when news broke that Kanye West had put together a college fund for her, I think it's like $2 million. Okay, there it is. She said, "Thank you, Kanye. Because of you, I will have a college education. Mommy and I are so thankful for you and your family." At Kim Kardashian, Justice for George. You know she ain't write that. She ain't write that. Okay, so this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Now, when this was posted and the blogs picked it up, I saw a lot of people commenting and saying, hey, you do know that this man had other kids. She was not the only child. He had other children, and you can kind of see people back and forth. I can't confirm if it's 5 kids. I see some people saying, no, he had 3 kids. I see some people saying, no, he had 5 kids. I don't know, but he had more than one child. That's what we do know. Okay. And a lot of people feel a type of way, about what's happening. And if this young lady is being exploited by the people around her. Okay. And I think that's valid. That's a valid question. I still don't think that should be directed to her. She is 6. She has no control over any of this. Okay. I'm sure if she had it her way, she'd rather have her father here. So everything that's happening right now has nothing to do with this child personally. So people should not come at this child personally. This is not her doing. I found this picture on attorney Benjamin Crump's Facebook, and he is pictured with George's oldest son, Quincy, the oldest daughter, Tanji, and his 2 grandchildren. When they say oldest son, to me, that implies that there is a younger son. So if these are 2 kids and then you have Gianna, then maybe him having 5 kids is actually correct, as opposed to people saying he had 3. He has 2 grandchildren here, 2 of the grandchildren, but he saying oldest son only means to me personally that there must have been a younger son. So that's why people are asking, what about the whatabouts? What about the other children? Okay. Gianna was not the only child. So hopefully the other children are also benefiting and will be able to benefit financially the way Gianna is. Okay, and as far as I know, I think they raised down near $15 million in his GoFundMe. So my guess is that the money will be distributed evenly, hopefully, amongst his children, amongst the kids here, right? And that they will benefit from it the same way that Gianna has been able to benefit. Now, I saw some, what I thought was rather good news. While people were saying, well, what about? Well, the AKAs, Alpha Kappa Alpha, they have provided scholarships for all of his family, I'm assuming the children, to attend HBCUs, which I think is a wonderful thing. Because when you stop and think about it, look at it like this. There's a possibility that these children may not have been able to afford, like most of us, may not have been able to afford to go to college. And now they are being granted that. So it does not bother me in the least that Gianna got $2 million, a $2 million college fund from Kanye West. That doesn't bother me. You know, this child will be able to now go on to school and have a full education. Now, $2 million, she ain't gonna need all of that, clearly, but it's covered. And again, Texas Southern has made sure if she wants to go there, she can go there. And the AKAs have made sure if those kids want to go off to college, they can go. HBCU, they can go. So these kids may have an opportunity to do something that maybe they weren't going to be able to do in the long run. Now that's bittersweet, right? Because no kid should have to lose a father or a parent in order to be able to become a shareholder at Disney, to be able to go to college, right? So that's the sadness in all of this, that it took the murder of a man for this girl to even be granted that. And you just wish that kids would be able to have these things without something tragic happening. And, but I guess I just don't want people to put it on this kid. I just think that, the people around her, though, the people around her, I just hope that they're not exploiting this child, because here's the thing. She may have 66,000 followers, but she's 6 years old. What exactly do y'all plan on doing with this child? At the end of the day, I hope that all of these kids will get some therapy. All the money and things are great, but they just lost their father. The older ones probably saw the video of their father. So everybody going to need some psychological counseling and psychological help. So instead of parading this baby girl around, don't forget that at the end of the day, she's 6. A 6-year-old who still want to be a kid, right? She don't need to be no poster child for no Black Lives Matter. She don't need to. I've already did a video about that, about making Black girls the face of this movement. Stop. And I'm kind of, looking at Stephen Jackson a little funny too, because this was the same man who just not too long ago, a couple of months ago, said that Black women were worse than they are just as bad as the police. When he was talking about child support and all this other stuff and his baby mamas and stuff, and he can't stand them, and what he said, that Black women are just bad as the police. So now he's assigned himself to take care of George Floyd's Black daughter. I mean, come on. That just seemed a little weird to me. That's just like, dude, you just sat here and dogged out Black women. Now you putting yourself in charge of raising a Black woman? Dude. Okay. Anyway. So I don't know if he is behind the Instagram page or her mama behind the Instagram page, but pump the brakes. This is a little girl. And the thing about it is that the media eventually gonna go away, like they always do. When they find a better story to something else that they can sensationalize, they gonna go away. And then what's left? Y'all didn't use this child up as much as you can use it, and now y'all gonna go away. And the politicians won't be, taking no more pictures with Gianna Floyd. So they need to just kind of be mindful of how they move with this child. And I hope that, you know, other kids that have faced similar situations will also have this kind of support. Hell, Philando Castile's daughter witnessed her father getting murdered. And you have to wonder, and that cop got off, and you have to wonder, he didn't even get charged. That you have to wonder what's going to happen to a kid like that. Does she have the kind of support? Does she have the financial support to have a good life and to be financially set for the rest of her life? Are people offering this child scholarships? There's so many, countless kids like that. But again, I don't want that to be Gianna Floyd's fault. She didn't ask for this. She didn't ask for any of this, right? None of it. But I just side-eye the exploitation of any child. I side-eye when children are put in these positions and thrust into these kind of things, again, through no fault of their own, because of a tragedy. And I am grateful that this child will have a college education. I think that she will go on to live a good life. And as I hope that for all of his children and his grandchildren. But I just don't want to see these kids exploited. I don't want to see any child exploited for the sake of being the face of charity, being the face of Black Lives Matter. I don't want any of that. I don't like any of it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And like I said, I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. And I will, of course, see you guys on the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.